Italian guy who was like very, um, was extremely Catholic, and I actually met him in Italy, and I lived in Italy. And before I was 23 when I met him, and I got my first tarot deck, I think, when I was 17. And I'd always been kind of like pulled towards anything. I don't know. I just knew very young there was more than what we could see. And I was intrigued with everything. So I had books on everything. I had tarot cards. And so when I met him, I had cards, and he got really weird with me. And you know, it was evil. I was bringing evil spirits in, and he made me burn them. And so and I went along with it. I allowed that to happen. And so like I was with him 24 years, but the last 10 years, I kind of got fed up, and I got my deck back. I just didn't show him it. So,
Right.
So you went and then once I left him,
you went 23 years without using your deck?
Well, I was 23 when he made me burn them, when I allowed him to do that to me. And it was the last 10 years I did start to get decks again. I just didn't show him.
Okay, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then I was very involved. That's when I got into Reiki, and I got into very kind of esoteric situations. So I just started using them again, and started learning a lot about everything from astrology, numerology, hand reading, anything you could think of. I was intrigued by it. So, and since then I've kind of been surrounded by those people. So I don't hide anything anymore. And so people think that religion puts that in people's heads, even with crystals.
Right.
Even though they come from, they come from they're made from the maker. But religion distorts things a little. So, but tarot cards actually started back in the 14th, 15th century. And they were just playing cards. They were just playing cards at that point. And it wasn't until the 18th century that they started becoming recognized with the occult and divination. And they started in Italy and in France. Like one of the decks I have, where is she? This is the Lenormand. So this is from the 1700s. So this is like a very specific little deck. So it's a reprint from the 1700s. And so these ones are really cool. So that it's only been the last 200 years that they started realizing that the symbology and everything else, it taps into a higher conscious. Because really tarot readings are just a way to connect with your higher self, connect with source. And a lot of times when people come in for readings, what you tell them or what comes out in the cards, it's just reaffirming really what you already know. Because at gut level, you already know the things. It's just you can't see it clearly. Even for us, that when we really need a reading, we can't read ourselves so much. We have to step away from ourselves and have somebody else do it.
Right, because we can't be as objective because we're so close to it. And so sometimes we live in deniability, especially if we think the card is telling us something negative, then we don't want to interpret it that way. Even the cards are not telling you anything negative. It's just maybe cautioning you or giving you warning, but it's nothing that, you still have your destiny. You still have the power of choice and decision making within you.
Right.
And so
they can
tell us a little bit about how you use it so it's beneficial to you. How is this a daily practice for some people, or tell us a little bit about how we can incorporate it in our lives.
Well, I go through periods where I'll pull a card for the day. So I shuffle, and I just, I spirit. Okay, I ask my dad. My dad is one of my guides. And so I ask him for my message for the day. What do I need to know about today? So I pulled one earlier, and I got the Ten of Cups, which is a beautiful card. It's about, like, if you could see can you see it clear?
Yes, I can see it. Okay,
Okay.
so you have some bowls there. You're in. Are you? Oh, you look like you have a loved one there with you, and so
Yeah.
it's like a family. Children in the
Yeah.
background, and a beautiful sea. Is that sea water? Like maybe you're at a beach or something?
They, yeah, they're at a beach. So this is a new deck I just picked up. It's the Light Seers Tarot, which is really pretty.
Yeah.
And so what it's saying, it's a day that it's going to be amazing communications, really positive vibes around family or community. And in fact, today there's stuff going on where there's going to be a lot of people around, and it's, in the world that I'm in.
Yes.
So it's going to be a really good day today. So it's showing that every relationships are going to flow nicely. There's going to be harmony. And then I also picked an oracle card for today, and I got love without condition.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
And see, the
Fun
really great thing
sideways.
about
Yeah.
the oracle cards, they give you anyone.
So explain
So,
again what's
and
the
the oracle
difference
cards give you a
between
direct message.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Explain the difference between oracle card and a tarot card.
So oracle give you just pull one card. It's not like you don't do spreads with them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can pull more than one card if you want to elaborate or
Mm-hmm.
get a more of a situation, but you just pull one. And so if you want to know the general energy about something, or like I asked how my day was going to be, and what this card is telling me is that I always spend time uh, giving other people advice and nurturing other people, and it's saying I need to do that for myself. So
Yeah. You pull a card for me for today.
yeah, so this is the card, the Queen of Wands. So it means you
Ooh.
have to have a lot of passion, or your day is going to be like this. So you're going to have a lot of passion and energy, about having courage, and it's also about business affairs. So it's showing you putting energy into those areas of your life. And then I pulled an oracle card for you too, which is strength.
The lion.
And
I'm
so this
Leo.
is yeah. So you had two cards telling you to have courage or believe in yourself, because what you're doing is actually going to benefit other people.
Okay. Well, thank you
So
for that.
those were your, so yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for
So
that.
when you get the oracle card, you just read exactly. Yeah, so
Right.
I'm going to read what it says. It says, have
Okay.
courage. There are times when you feel small, afraid, and alone in the world, but you are not alone. You are watched over and cherished by Gaia and Great Spirit. Know that you have within you the strength to overcome all obstacles placed in your path, no matter how daunting or large they may seem. Have courage. Now is the time to trust in yourself and have confidence that you will overcome all.
Mm. So I received that.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I know that I got a reading from you the other day, and it was interesting because you picked the four swords
Five of Pentacles.
and the four swords.
Oh,
Where
yes. Yeah.
yes, and I thought that and reading up on it more, I was like, that was really where I was, where um, I was in between trying to, I was doing a lot and I'm doing a lot. And it showed that I needed to take time and have some rest. And I got a reading from someone who does auras and animal totem. And I got the same message, take time. And I was like, okay, I know that I'm trying to do so many things. I'm renovating my house. So my home is in a big mess, and I'm like, I gotta get this done by this time. I gotta get this done by this time. And then I'm embarking and really leveling up my business, so I'm doing a whole lot of other stuff with it, and I'm just really feeling overwhelmed. And so what the cards had really reflected what I'm emotionally going through. And so now it's up to me to say, okay, this is true, and to be able to pace myself and know that everything will happen in divine order, and to be mindful that I don't get too overwhelmed. I need to take time to rest. And so I am going to surrender to the call that I need to take the time to rest. And as the card said for me today, be courageous enough to take that time and believe in them and know that what I'm doing, I am doing not for myself, but for others as well. So I want to thank you for that and share it. So Claire,
so this is the one you need to remember.
yes, and so I love that card. It's a powerful card, powerful. I'm going to remember me holding on.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it.
Please do, please do, please do. All right. And so, Claire, tell us how people can use this. How does it become more of a benefit to them? So it seems as though you pull a card every day that kind of gives you some guidance of how your day is going to go, and how much. Tell us how much credence or if people are buying if they're starting out and they're interested, should they buy an oracle set of cards first? I would believe over some tarot cards. What is your thoughts on that?
I think the oracle is a great way to go, and there's some really pretty like this is the messenger oracle that I pulled from, and I really like these ones. So and they even if there's something like not negative that you need to know, the oracle, even the tarot, they tell you how to look at things differently. So like maybe you need to shift your thinking, maybe you're not trapped, and maybe there's some burdens you need to put down. So even the worst card in the deck, like one of the most ominous, like the 10 of Swords, where like in the new deck I got, she's got all scar marks down her back and she's tired, but if she shifts her direction the other way, the dawn is just coming up and she's made it through the worst. So from now on it's going to get easier. Right. So you have to look at then it's not like you read it and you say, oh my God, this is really bad. Or you get 5 of Swords. It shows sometimes there's situations where you just have to move on and you need to let go. And sometimes we carry things. Like we don't forgive people, or we'll rethink a situation a million times. And it's like the past is gone, and to move more positive into the future, we need to keep clearing, cleansing, and moving forward. So sometimes it will come up and tell you that before positive can come into your life again, you need to clear this out. So if you start with the oracle, and there isn't a specific oracle you should go for, it's the one that you're drawn to.
Absolutely.
Because this like the imagery is so rich, and you might be more into the medieval look. There's some amazing oracle decks and tarot decks out now. That they've modernized them, or if you really want like the old Gothic look, you can find that. So whatever if you're into fairies or angels, like there's all kind of decks. And so you just, like, I had a hard time, like I picked these ones up yesterday, and I'd been thinking for weeks, like, I need another deck, I don't know what to get. And I tried one, I was like, it just, like, I thought I wanted it, but I didn't like the energy. When I saw this one, I'm like, okay, that's it.
Right. You automatically know. You get a big smile and you get a great feeling. So before we leave, there's usually 3 questions I really like to ask my guests. My brand is about 3 hearts: the physical heart, the emotional heart, and the spiritual heart. So tell us, what do you do for your physical heart? your health?
Yeah. Okay. So, when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, and I kind of combine them, like I will get my hiking boots on
Mm.
and I'll take a walk in nature because that for me is my healing
Yeah.
space. And then that is like, oh my God, I drove to the mountains like 2, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I just felt pulled to go. So I got in my car and I drove up to Franklin, Tennessee. It was like 3 hours. Oh
Yeah.
no, North Carolina. And as I got close to the mountains,
Uh-huh.
I felt the heat like open up my heart chakra,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt all the stress I've been carrying. I let it go, and I just spent the day in the mountains, and I
Mm-hmm.
realized I have to do that
But
more
yeah,
often.
it
So
helps
you
get
need to get
you.
away from
Yeah. Yeah, it helps
the
get you
mountains is
grounded.
amazing. The energy.
Yeah, get peace. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Uh,
then when I can't do things like that and I'm overwhelmed, I will like close my curtains, put my incense on, light some candles, and I'll put a guided meditation on, like to take a little
yeah.
journey to meet my higher self.
Yeah.
Or the Michael Seeley, that one is amazing. And it's just like a half hour, but the imagery is amazing. Like he kind of counts you down, and then you're at a shore. You get in a little rowing boat, go to an island,
Oh.
and there's a clearing in the woods and a fire, and there's this old woman, right, with white hair and like some wise old person, and then you go meet them and you talk to them. You get to ask them questions, and I always like, I don't know, I think I slip into my subconscious at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and I will like I'll come back, and he'll be saying, okay, now row back to the island, row back to the shore, and I'm like, oh. So I had a meeting with my higher self, but it was in a subconscious level. But I
Yeah.
come back feeling really rested, peaceful, and calm.
Yeah. And that's what you wanted. You set that
Yeah. So
intention. All right. So tell me, give us
and
um,
then
something that you've learned, a lesson that you've learned about relationships or love. A lesson that you've learned about love, or a lesson that you've learned about being in a relationship.
um yeah, I learned a big lesson about letting go, even though I thought I'd let go sometimes. Like I did equestrian healing where you
Hmm.
actually heal on a horse.
Horse, yeah,
They do sound therapy.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I tried that, and some things that I thought I'd let go of, I realized they were still there. And it was just really, it helped me shift two things that I thought I'd worked on. So it was just sometimes we have to try different healing modalities, but other things I learned in a relationship, because I've seen both sides um, of jealousy.
Mm.
And so after experiencing both sides, like I will not be a part of if they're gonna go, they're gonna go, and just be
Yeah.
at peace with yourself. Um, I guess there's a lot of things. I
That's great.
okay.
So
So I'll,
we're wrapping up. Thank you so much. And what's the last thing, which I can probably guess, but I still like to ask, what is a spiritual practice?
a spiritual practice is, and there's all forms,
That you
like you
do
can
for
look at
yourself.
Buddhism,
No,
and
no, a spiritual practice
like
that you
I
do for
follow
yourself.
the uh, hmm?
A spiritual practice that you do for
I'm
yourself.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
A spiritual practice that you do for
Oh,
yourself. Mhm.
well, I guess it's being mindful about everything that happens, and I follow the universal laws, and I'm trying to work on the Buddhism one about being centered, where it doesn't matter
Mhm.
what happens around you,
That's a hard
that
one.
it doesn't affect you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a hard one.
Yeah,
So
and
that's a
that one
lifelong practice for
that
me.
one is challenging.
Thank you
So when
so much.
something happens, that
Uh-huh.
yeah, sorry,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. You can finish. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So that is a daily challenge when something happens um, that upsets me.
Uh-huh.
I try to stand back really quickly from it and say, why is this bothering me? And what did I do maybe to bring this around? And also, if you read the Four Agreements,
Oh, yeah.
um, you realize you never take anything personally.
Yeah.
And also how you speak to yourself, like don't be too hard on yourself, and letting go of the past is a big one. Forgiving people,
Yeah.
like forgiveness is a huge thing
Huge, huge, huge.
that you can't
Yes.
bring positive into your life if you're holding negative energy towards people.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. But
So
before you leave, I'm gonna pull a card from you for you. So just one quick second. Let me get my cards. All right. So I have oracle cards for you, and these are called Ask Your Guide. And I like Sonia Coquette. Are you familiar with her? Just some great books as well. So I'm shuffling them. And one of the things that I usually do is knock on them to clear any old energy. And I hold them in my hand and I give a silent prayer and ask for our guides and healers to be with us and set good intentions for you. All right. So I have shuffled. I am cutting. All right. And I'm going to pull a card for you. All right. And this card is, looks like it has the wings. Shadow,
oh,
divine healers. What does that say for you? When you just see that right away, what came to mind?
yeah, I think that is saying that comes back to like clearing things out, working on your shadow side, and really allowing the light to come in.
Yeah.
Um, and that's going to be a big thing, like on the 21st
Yes.
with the equinox. So
Yes.
I'm going to be doing a lot for that night. Like clearing and writing out anything, like anything and everything that I need to let go of and forgive, and then do a little burning, like have
Yeah.
the candles going and burn that, and then I'll probably like do a candle, like to bring in positive energy.
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah.
do. So your card is about, although no one likes to admit it, we all have dark sides and shadows, those less than flattering uh, facets of our personality that takes delight in abusing and shaming others, wielding power in the most unfair ways. Whether it's the condescending remark to the slow moving grocery bagger or the supermarket, the aggressive hand gesture towards the driver on the road, it goes on to say, let me read the lesson. Your divine healers are present now to help you witness your shadow, lovingly making you aware that it's actually contempt for yourself and your vulnerability that fuels hostility towards others. So the message is ease up and be more tolerant of yourself. If you do so, these shadows will give way to light and healing. Your divine healer's messages ask for help and accept our light. So how does that resonate with you?
I think it mirrors this one that I got for myself.
You did too, yeah.
About,
Yeah, the picture
about not being too hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
About letting
right.
go of some negativity and
Yeah.
not being too hard on myself.
Not being too hard. And that's not just a lesson for you, that's a lesson
Yeah,
for all of us. Because I even got that
I
message
don't
from your cards, right?
do that to other people.
We have a delay, so sometimes
Yes.
it's hard. That's why it seems as though I'm talking over her or vice versa. It's just we're having a delay. So I just want to let the heartbeats know that that we're not trying to be rude to each other. It's just that with Zoom today, we're having a delay. I was on a session earlier and we were having this delay bounce back. But I think you all got the message. And I really want to thank Claire. Claire, can you tell us how to get in contact with you? You can give us your information. You can share your information.
Yeah, like you can call me or text me at 843-684-0220. My Instagram I'm working on right now, but text
Yeah.
works,
Or,
and my email address.
or you can get in touch with the Heart Lady and I will share the information with you. And so as usual, thank you, Heartbeats, for joining again this other series, learning something more about tarot card readings and how it may be of benefit to you, and to just help give you some other guidance and enlightenment and awareness and insightfulness about what's going on with your life. So if you ever want to pick one, go and pick one that resonates with you. And we will see you again very soon. Of course, take care of your heart so your heart will take care of you. Your heart beats through your body and gives vibrations and letting you know how much it loves you. So until we meet again, ciao.